Greetings to all. I am Arun Kumar, working as an assistant professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering, Ramco Institute of Technology. And here in this video lecture, we are going to discuss about the global scenario of primary conventional energy sources, and that too, we are going to be more specific on three primary sources of energy that are coal, oil, and natural gas. So here the agenda of this video lecture will be that we'll be discussing about the types of energy, followed by the global energy scenario of three primary energy sources, and finally we'll be discussing about the inferences that we got from this global energy scenario. The objective of this video lecture will be that the learners, you all will be able to understand the global scenario of these three primary energy sources in terms of distribution, production and consumption. That is, what are all the top countries which have maximum reserve of these primary sources, followed by what are all the countries which are producing maximum these primary sources, and followed by the consumption. So this is how we are going to take this video lecture. And first, the type of energy. We can classify energy into different types, and as far as this video lecture is concerned, we are classifying this energy into two types. One is renewable energy and other one is non-renewable energy. So what is actually renewable energy is that the energy that is obtained from the sources that are essentially inexhaustible. That is, with respect to time and consumption, these energy won't be getting depleted. For example, solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy. Even though you are consuming every day, we can get these sources of energy every day. So that is what called as renewable energy. And what is meant by non-renewable energy is that these kind of energy will be getting depleted with respect to time and consumption. For example, coal, crude oil, natural gas, all these stuffs, it will be getting depleted with respect to consumption and time. And in this video lecture, we are going to discuss about the pattern and global scenario of non-renewable energy sources. So we know that energy is the prime mover of this earth, and these prime movers are extracted from various sources, and the primary energy sources that drives the world are coal, oil, natural gas, nuclear energy and renewable sources of energy. So first we'll be discussing about the coal. So I took all these data which are presented in this presentation from BP statistical report, from BP statistical report 2021 as well as from 2022. So the first thing related to coal is that by the year 2020 end, it was estimated that the total coal reserve of the world is 10,74,108 million tons. And the top 5 countries which holds maximum reserve of this coal are USA, Russia, followed by Australia, China and India. And almost these 5 countries contributes in holding almost around 60% of the total reserve of this world, 60 to 70%. And with the reserve and with respect to the production pattern based on the R by P ratio, that is reserve against production ratio, it is estimated that the coal will be available in the world for next 139 years, and that of in India it will be for next 110 years. And once again I am repeating, it is calculated based on the R by P ratio, that is reserve against production ratio. How many, that is a quantity of reserve available in the world, and what is the current production rate. Based on these two factors, the estimated reserve is being calculated. And this is the distribution pattern. Here you can see in the by the end of 2020 it is approximately 10,50,000, and later in the year of 2020 the total estimated reserve have increased to 10,70,000 odd. The reason is that the demand of energy have grown a lot in the past 2 decades, and that is why most of the countries were forced to explore their coal fields. And yearly we saw that the coal reserve in the world will be available for next 139 or 140 years, but we can't sit comfortable that these coal will be available for 140 years, because I would like to show you an example here. Here you can see this pointer. The graph which is in purple color, it indicates the R by P ratio of CIS, that is Commonwealth of Independent States. See, by the year 2000, by the year 2000, it was estimated that the coal in the world will be available for next almost 700 years. And now you can see in the year 2020, it has been estimated that it will be available for next 40 years. 400 years. See, in the year 2000, it was estimated that the available coal will be for next 700 years, whereas by the year 2020, it have came down to almost 400 years, which indicates that in the past 20 years, we have consumed almost 300 years of coal. So that's why we can't sit comfortable that the coal will be available for next 140 or 150 years. We need to think about some alternate source of energy. And here you can see the top 5 countries. So this graph indicates the first graph indicates the coal production and second graph indicates the coal consumption. This orange spider indicates the total world production and each column indicates the top 5 countries, as well as it is similar to the bottom also. The orange color indicates the total world consumption and each column indicates the leader in consumption. And you can see the top 5 countries which produces coal are US, Russia, India, Australia and China. And in terms of production we have seen, and in terms of consumption you can see the top 5 countries as US, China, India, South Africa and Japan. And China is the leader in consumption of coal in the world. And we'll move on to the next form of global scenario, that is oil. So oil, we can't imagine the automobile sector at present without availability of oil. And it has been estimated that by the end of 2020, the total available oil reserve in the world is calculated or estimated to be 1732 billion barrels. And the country which holds maximum reserve of oil is Venezuela, followed by Saudi Arabia and Canada. And it is estimated that the total world reserve of oil will be available for next 50 years, and that of India is just for 10 years. And I would like to make a note here that India is importing almost 82 to 85% of its daily requirement of oil from other countries, which is almost equal to 49 lakh 80,000 barrels per day we are importing. And this is the distribution of oil. You can see at the end of the year 2000 it is almost 1300. Now in the year 2020 it have increased to 1700. And this is also as the demand of energy increased, the countries were forced to explore their oil fields. And here you can see the distribution pattern, and the orange color indicates about the Gulf countries, that is the Middle East. By the year 1990, it was estimated that the oil reserve will be available for next almost 110 to 115 years. But at the end of 2020, now it is estimated that the oil reserve will be available for next 80 or 70 years. So which indicates that in the past 30 years we have consumed around 30 to 35 years of oil, but we can't sit comfortable as told earlier that the oil will be available for next 50 years. And these are all the top 5 countries which produces oil: US, Russia, Saudi Arabia, China, Iraq. And the countries which consume oil is that USA, followed by China, followed by India, Saudi Arabia and Japan. And India is the third largest consumer of oil in the world. We'll move on to the last global scenario, that is natural gas. And it has been estimated by the year 2020, the total available natural gas will be available for next 48.8 years, that is for next 50 years. And total available natural gas is estimated to be 188.1 trillion cubic meter. And the leaders of reserve holders are Russia, followed by Iran and Qatar. And here you can see the distribution pattern. So it is keep on increasing. As I told earlier, the demand of energy is increasing, and that is why the countries have been forced to explore their natural gas fields. And as told early, we can't sit comfortable that the natural gas will be available for next 50 years, because here you can see the stats of the Middle East. In the year 2000, it was estimated that the R by P ratio will be around 400 years. But in the year 2020, it have almost came down to 100 years, which indicates that in the past 20 to 30 years, we have consumed almost 300 years of natural gas reserve. And that is the problem. So we need to switch over to some alternate energy sources. And the leaders in natural gas production are USA, followed by Russia, Iran, Qatar, and Canada. And the leaders in natural gas consumption are USA, Russia, China, Iran, and South Africa. So with this, we are concluding about the energy scenario. Now we'll get into the inference. So based on the global energy scenario, I took the stats from the World Energy Outlook report. It is being calculated that 16% of the world population, they are consuming almost 50% of total available energy. That is, among the total energy demand, 50% of the energy demand are consumed by just 16% of world's population, and the remaining people are sharing the remaining energy demand. And it also been calculated that approximately 1.6 billion people in this world, they don't have access to electricity. And the final inference is that the total energy requirement of the world by the year 2020, it was estimated to be 50 billion tons of oil equivalent, and just 1.2 billion people are consuming almost 7.5 billion tons of oil equivalent energy. And to end up, this is the distribution of electricity, and here you can see almost the African countries are facing this shortage of electricity. So with this video lecture, I would like to conclude that due to this increase in energy demand and increase in depletion of this conventional energy sources, we as an individual, we need to switch over to the renewable energy sources, and every individual, we should focus on energy conservation. So with this, I would like to conclude, and these are all the references I took. All the statistics available in this entire video lecture from these two reports, that is BP Statistical Report 2020 and 2021. Thank you. And the reminder is here, I have given a link here, and or you can, I have given a QR code here, you can scan it, or you can get into that Google form, so that a questionnaire of 5 questionnaires is available there, which is asked based on the video lecture. And if you are able to answer, and if you are able to answer and score 50%, you will be getting a certificate of completion of this video lecture. So thank you.